In the ongoing battle of cybersecurity, the rules of the game are about to change in a huge way. Today, we're diving into the tech that's right at the heart of that change, Agentic AI. And just so we're clear, this isn't some minor upgrade. We're talking about a whole new cyber frontier.
But before we can even look at the future, we have to get a real handle on the crazy scale of what's happening right now. Just look at this number for a second, 2,200. That is the average number of cyber attacks that just one organization has to deal with every single day. It's a relentless, totally overwhelming flood of threats.
And that really leads to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? With thousands of alerts flooding in 24/7, how on earth can human defenders possibly keep up? The honest answer? They can't. It's just not possible. The sheer scale of this problem has grown way beyond our human ability to manage it.
And the result of that is, well, it's a real human crisis that's happening inside our security operations centers. We have these incredibly talented analysts who are just drowning in data. This leads to something called alert fatigue, where a truly critical threat can just get lost in all the noise. It's a model that's completely unsustainable, and it's burning out our best people.
Okay, so if the old way of doing things is at its breaking point, what's next? This is where we need to introduce a totally new way of thinking, Agentic AI. And it's so important to get this. This is not just another security tool. We're talking about an entirely new category of defender.
Yeah, this quote right here just nails it. It really captures the mental shift we need to make. We're not talking about a slightly better antivirus or some smarter dashboard. We're talking about an autonomous teammate, a digital partner that can work alongside our human teams, one that can actually reason, plan, and take action all on its own.
So let's really break down the difference here. On the left, you've got traditional automation. It's pretty simple. It just follows a rigid script. If this specific thing happens, then do that specific thing. But an agentic AI on the right, it's completely different. You don't give it a script, you give it a goal. Like, your job is to protect this network. And here's the kicker. The human role changes from being in the loop, micromanaging every little decision, to being on the loop, basically providing strategic oversight from above.
To put it as simply as possible, an AI agent sees what's going on, it decides what to do, and then it acts. It's this continuous, autonomous loop, and it's all driven by a high-level objective. That ability right there is what makes it so different from every single security tool that's come before.
All right, so that all sounds pretty great in theory, but what does it actually look like when the rubber meets the road? Let's walk through a day, or maybe more accurately, a night, in the life of one of these AI security agents to really see it in action.
Okay, picture this. It's 2:13 in the morning. Your human analyst is hopefully fast asleep, but the AI agent spots a really subtle anomaly on a critical server. It doesn't just ping an alert and go back to sleep. It immediately starts investigating. It's pulling together data from a dozen different sources in literally milliseconds. It figures out there's a malicious process running and, get this, without waiting for a human to say okay, it instantly isolates that server from the network to stop the threat from spreading. So by the time our human analyst grabs their coffee and logs on at 9 a.m., the threat is already neutralized and a full report on what happened is sitting right there waiting for them. That is defense at machine speed.
This kind of capability is, well, it's a total game changer. But like any truly powerful technology, it's a double-edged sword. We are absolutely entering a new cyber frontier, and it's one that's filled with both incredible promise and some pretty serious peril.
And here, you can really see the two sides of that coin. The promise is amazing, right? 24/7 autonomous defense, closing that massive skills gap, and operating at machine speed. But the peril? That's just as real, because what happens when the bad guys deploy their own autonomous attack agents? We could be facing machine speed attacks, fighting machine speed defense, with risks of escalation we can't even predict yet. This is the new reality we have to get ready for.
So, knowing all this is on the horizon, the most important question becomes, how do we get ready for it? We absolutely cannot afford to be caught flat-footed, so let's talk about the steps we need to start taking, like right now.
Look, the path forward really requires a big strategic shift. We have to start investing in new skills for our teams, skills focused on managing and overseeing AI. We have to build strong ethical guardrails before we deploy these things at scale, and this is so crucial. We need to start experimenting now in controlled, low-risk pilot programs. This is how our teams will evolve from being digital firefighters, constantly putting out fires, to becoming high-level strategists. The job of the security analyst is about to change, big time.
And that really brings us to our final thought here. This is not some distant science fiction future we're talking about. The race has already started.
Our adversaries are out there right now actively developing these capabilities. So the debate isn't really if we should embrace agentic AI for defense, but how quickly can we do it responsibly? The real question we all need to walk away with is this: they're building them, when will we?